Press go live. It's loading.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Valhalla Hour, let's go! Kick back, put on your headphones tight. Rob and Matt, bringing fire every night. From the land of 10,000 lakes, we rule the scene. With a crew so fresh, keeping it raw and clean. Minnesota Vikings, kings of the north. We wear our purple heart and let the battle roar forth. Breaking down the game, dissecting the plays. With passion so fierce, we'll set the night ablaze. So give us a follow, hit that like. Share it with your crew, you know we're about to strike. Valhalla, our podcast, living life bold, where legends are made and stories are told.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
How's it going? Happy Saturday. It's finally draft week. Rob and Matt are both out this week. Rob is in New York and Matt has some company, something rather. So you got us two today. With it being draft week, that's basically what we're going to talk about. We're not going to do another mock draft, but we are going to hammer some non-Thieneman names that the Vikings can go for, possibly some like off-the-wall draft trades that we could possibly look at seeing the Vikings make. And yeah, so you'll have us for the next hour. It's also for all the Minnesota sports fans, Wolves and Wild playoffs start today, so that's awesome. But how you doing?
I'm great.
Good. So we talked quite a bit about all these topics before the show started, so we get to just rehash basically everything we just talked about. But we obviously know the Vikings are picking at 18. The name that everybody sees us going for is Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon, because we got to replace a white safety with a white safety, and that just means he's automatically going to be Harrison Smith, apparently. But you and I agreed before the show started that we really want to see the Vikings trade back because it's no secret this draft isn't the strongest draft over the last few years. They mentioned on the Power Trip how the energy for this draft, there's no major excitement. Like Fernando Mendoza is going to be the obvious number one. And then who was that edge rusher you were saying that was going to be the obvious number two?
Reese? It's a linebacker edge rusher.
Oh, okay. So there's
and
just
he's from Ohio State. His name is Avion Reese.
Yeah. So it's just there's no mystique, there's no drama, there's no like, oh my God, where is this guy going to go to this year's draft, especially where the Vikings pick. So we would like to see the Vikings trade back. Brzezinski obviously said that the draft best values between picks 30 and 70. So do you see us trading back into the mid to the end of the first round to get an extra second, get an extra third to get some of these players? And so I wrote down some names that aren't going to be there at 18, or not going to be there at 18, would be foolish to draft at 18 because you can get him towards the end of the first. And that's cornerback Colton Hood. I've seen him going late first, early second. There's defensive tackle Caden McDonald. Offensive guard Lone. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, if it's Olivega. I'm not sure. Offensive tackle Caleb Proctor.
That guy is actually projected to go to before us to Baltimore.
Really?
Did they have? There's a lot of projections on that guard.
Okay.
He is projected to be the best guard, offensive left guard in the draft.
Okay. Well, then he's probably not going to be there. But the mocks that I was looking at had him going kind of late first round. But I mean, I thought that Donovan Jackson was a second round grade and we took him in the 20s. So you never know what
he has Donovan Jackson tendencies.
Okay.
This guy is, from what I heard in pro days, in the actual combine, this guy is gonna be a 3-time Pro Bowler, blah blah blah.
But is he a true left guard, or could he swing over to right?
I think he's gonna be a right guard.
A right guard?
They project him to be the best run blocking guy.
Okay.
And
See,
with us, with the Vikings being real, we don't need guard. We need center.
well, we need both.
No, we have Donovan Jackson,
Yeah.
who did showcase he has potential.
Yeah.
And Fries was great last season.
He was not great. He graded very below average. I think he graded like a 64 pass blocking. I think like high 60s run blocking. But he was healthy. That's the thing, is like he was at least on the field. But also there was it wasn't even a report, but there was the thing that came out the other day that said the Vikings could move on from Will Fries in 2027 and accrue zero dead cap. They would save $21 million in cap by moving on from Fries. So if he comes out this next year and plays again,
Do we draft a first round right guard
if you don't,
over
yes.
a defensive nose tackle?
The reason I would say yes, even though nose tackle is the bigger need, we could see Flores getting great play out of below like average players. Like we got a guy from the UFL, that Redmond, who we're sitting here saying like, yeah, hell yeah, we got to keep him because he was a stud last year and he outplayed Hargrave and Allen, who were both paid way more than him. He came in from the UFL and was our best defensive tackle last year. So Flores can get more out of less than we can on offense. So I would rather get a legit offensive lineman that can actually fucking run block, because people say like KOC, oh, he just ditches the run too quickly. He relies too heavily on the pass. We need running backs that can run. We need offensive linemen that can create holes for our running backs to run. It seemed like last year, every time we hit the line of scrimmage, we would just run into a wall of molasses. We had no breakaway. How many like beyond 30-yard touchdowns did we see last year? Literally zero. So if we can
chemistry.
What's that?
That's because of chemistry.
Chemistry?
How many times did we play healthy together? I know.
Oh no, for sure. But that's why I want to sink more draft capital into making sure that our O-line is as best as it could be and not having a repeat of last year. Because if Fries comes out next year and has another average to below average season, the Vikings aren't going to want to pay him $21 million. They're going to be like, no, thank you. We're going to take that cap space and we're going to shake your hand and say thanks for the last 2 years, and we're going to move on. And if we don't value that position now, we're fucked. Or you're just not valuing it now, hoping that he comes out and has another good season and doesn't, and then same position. We're just kind of looking there going like, okay, who do we have at interior offensive line? Next year's draft is a lot stronger, apparently, across the board, so we could sink the first rounder in offensive guard next year. But back to my point, Flores can get more with less than we can on offense. So if you're sitting there saying like, hey, here's you, like you just said, the best run blocking guard in the draft, or defensive tackle 3 or 4, I'm taking the best run blocking offensive guard in the draft. Now, if you're taking safety number 2 or wide, I would even take wide receiver, which is going to be another topic I bring up at some point. Is it looks like the Vikings are valuing
wide receiver.
It seems like we do.
Wide receiver 3, definitely. Bring in the competition for what's his name, Felton?
Yeah. But I mean, with these receivers the Vikings have been looking at, they might be looking at more than just a wide receiver 3. I mean, Addison, they just extended him for his 5th-year option, but that really doesn't affect his trade value better or worse. It just says, like, hey, if you can keep your fucking nose clean this entire season and maybe put up another 1,000 yards or another 10 touchdowns, we can look at extending you. But if not, then a team that wants to trade for you has you locked down for at least another 2 years. So, I mean, we could potentially be looking for Addison's replacement, which I've said all offseason, I am very much in favor of moving on from Addison, getting some major draft capital, saving some major future draft. I mean, this is kind of off topic. look at the fucking contract that Will Johnson just got. 3 years, $150 million, $134 million guaranteed for an edge rusher. Alec Pierce, the receiver 3, or not receiver 3, but the receiver 2 for the Colts just got $29 million a year on average. Like Addison is going to
get a wide receiver 3.
Even more to the point, by the time Addison's up for a long-term deal, it's going to be well over $30 million a year. I don't think the Vikings are going to want to spend that on him. So, I mean,
especially with all his off-season problems.
Which, I mean, his most recent one got waived. There's going to be no disciplinary action there because the charges were dropped. So that's fine and dandy. But he still, whatever it was, he still did it. What was it? Some type of like trespassing at a casino after they told him to leave or something like that. I don't know. But he's always up to some shit. But the receiver who's a second round prospect that we looked at in our top 30 was Ted Hurst. I have no idea who he plays for. It seems like a bigger body receiver, which is obviously what we need. We need someone that can be a red zone threat. We've also been looking at some tight ends in the top 30 that are projected to be like late second, early third rounders. So it looks like the Vikings are really doing their due diligence to get Kyler Murray some more weapons and potentially feature JJ McCarthy some more weapons. Because
what about that receiver, the tight end out of Oklahoma? I forget his name.
The only tight end I know by name is Sadiq.
Like the guy is out of Oklahoma.
Couldn't tell you.
It was S something, and his last initial was Q.
I don't know. The only other tight end that I have written down that we've looked at is Oscar Delt. And he's a third to fourth round prospect.
Not even in the first round.
No. He's a third to fourth round prospect.
First round, definitely.
The only first round tight end I've seen is Kenyon Sadiq.
Is who?
Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon.
That's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's not Oklahoma. It was Oregon. But yeah, Kenyon Sadiq. I would take him at 18, 100%. I mean, it's wild. I mean, in Facebook, on Twitter, we see Vikings fans throwing fits like, well, we can't take a tight end because we have TJ Hawkinson, or, well, we can't take a high-end running back because we have Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. These are players that are only under contract for one more season. You need the depth. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, Hawkinson hasn't been good since his ACL tear. Jordan Mason was underwhelming last year. He was the better running back, but he was still underwhelming. Obviously, Sombrero Jones, he's, 30 going on 31? He wasn't great last year, but we brought him back for $5 million guaranteed or whatever the contract was. But it doesn't mean that you can't go after Price. It doesn't mean that you can't draft Emmett Johnson in the third round. Like, we need somebody that can come in when they're done. And if they have to sit and get minimal snaps for a year, fine, whatever. Like, it's not the end of the world. Justin Jefferson didn't start his first 4 games, and he's going to be a Hall of Fame receiver. Like, you can let these players sit for a minute. It's fine. Like, if you're a top 10 overall pick.
Look at Randy Moss.
Look at Adrian Peterson.
Like, Randy Moss actually learned from Chris Carter. He actually said that shit.
Yeah.
He actually learned from Jake Reed.
I mean, did we need to spend a first rounder on Jordan Addison? No, but we did. And now we're sitting here talking about possibly paying him $30+ million a year because he's really fucking good. So sometimes you just got to take players that at the time don't make sense, but end up being the best pick that we could have made at that point. So yeah, the whole, well, we can't take a first round because we already have that player. It's for a year. Like you and I were talking about before the show started, about how if you had a dream scenario that you could trade up to the top 3 overall to get that edge rusher from Ohio State, because we're probably going to lose Bernard because of the Will Anderson contract being what it is. We're not going to be able to afford to keep Bernard. He's not going to be like, oh yeah, I'll stay for 20, 22 million a year. He's probably looking for north of 30 at this point. Van Ginkel is getting old, and he's on the last couple of years of his contract. And then we have Dallas Turner. So outside of that, we don't really have an edge rusher. So, I mean, who was it that I wrote down? Keldrick Falk. That's someone you can get mid to late first. take him. I don't know. But I'm for trading as many people as possible. Next year's draft is going to be apparently insanely deep. I wouldn't mind getting picks for next year over picks for this year. Let's see what else. Speaking of wide receiver 3.
To be honest with you, like I wouldn't mind having Ruben Bain Jr. That's if he's there with the Commanders.
Who picked what? 6?
7.
6 or 7? 7? But then, so we talked about this before the show. You're trading from 18 to 7. You think we can get there with 18, 49, and 97?
I think we can get there with Grenard, and we don't have to trade 18.
Well, you're not getting a first round value out of Grenard, though. That's the thing. So if you're trading
Grenard in a second for that 7.
So you think that Washington would take 2 second round picks for the number 7 overall and not even get a first round pick?
I think
that GM would be fired after the season, but if they bid on that, I'd do that in a heartbeat. But usually the teams are going to want to recoup a first rounder and then get something for it. You're moving up 11 spots.
Maybe next first round. I'm not giving up this year first round and giving them a Pro Bowl edge.
Well, the thing that hurts Grenard's value, like we just talked about, is the fact that he's going to want north of $30 million a year, and a team's not going to give up a first-round pick for a 28-year-old edge rusher that's going to want a $30 million on average contract, who's coming off a 3-sack season and a shoulder injury. And I'm absolutely not giving up next year's first because, like I said, next year's draft is way better than this year's draft, and so I'd rather give up the 18th this year. I mean, like we said, if we're not getting Thieneman and we're not getting McNeil Warren, we're losing what? There's no name that's like, oh, fuck, man. Like, I can't believe we gave up burnt draft pick for this guy. Like, if we're going into the top 7 and we're getting the number 2 edge rusher or the number 1 defensive tackle, that's worth losing out on potentially drafting Caden Proctor or Keldrick Falk. Oh, no. You're getting someone that's way better than either of those 2 players. And you're losing the 18 and Grenard and possibly the 49. I don't have the draft.
Freaking fall. I think Falk's falling to us, dude.
You'd be comfortable drafting him at 18th overall? You don't think that's a bit of a reach?
Falk's gonna fall way past us.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You said that Falk's not going to fall. That he'll fall to us at 18. No, we can get him in the mid-20s.
But at the same time, I don't want him. If we're not trading our edge rusher, like, hey, we already have 3 good ones.
Yeah. But 2 of those 3 good ones are free agents in a year or 2. Like, if we don't extend Grenard, he's only got 2 years left on his contract. And I think Van Ginkel's going into his final year on contract. So even with those 3 on roster, you're still going to want an edge rusher.
But at the same time, we can draft L.D. Overton in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah. Well, we don't have a 4th round pick, so that's not going to happen. But I mean, if you wanted to take it with a compensatory 3rd, you can. I mean, Flores already came out and said he wants the Vikings to take a high-end edge rusher. So, I mean, it's obviously going to happen. It just depends. Is it going to be our 1st rounder or is it going to be our 2nd rounder? Alec Lewis apparently came out and said not only does he not expect the Vikings to take a corner in the first 2 rounds, but he thinks all the talk about Thieneman is a smokescreen. And he said unless he sees like concrete evidence that the Vikings are actually interested in taking him, it's all just kind of media talk right now and not necessarily coming from the team itself. because all the media is just assuming, well, Harrison Smith retired, so this is naturally the guy they're going to want. And from what he's saying inside the team, that's not the case. So, I mean, are you dying, bro? Please don't die on live. It's going to be hard to explain.
I'm fine.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why I'm trying to bring up some. Oh, fuck. Ugh. Do you need to go to the hospital?
I can live with this shit, dude.
I mean, pneumonia kills people. That's fine. But so we're kind of talking about receiver a little bit ago and how we need to sink some value into wide receiver 3. Apparently, the Vikings have real interest in DeAndre Hopkins being at least a 1-year stopgap wide receiver 3. How would you feel about that?
Too old, but he has chemistry with our quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, he was hyping him up, saying like, hey, man, y'all want to share him, but he gave me 1,000 yards. And again, it's a wide receiver 3. It's not like saying that he would have to come in and be like a regular part of the offense. I mean, we lost Naylor.
Honestly, him, like, bringing Hopkins in as competition with Felton might be good.
Well, and that's kind of like Kyler Murray. That's a receiver that you can get for nothing. Because if he was going to get signed by all these teams, because he's just so sought after, he'd be signed by now, but he's still out there, which means you could probably get him for a vet minimum or like $2 or $3 million. But the Vikings only have $5.5 million in cap. Apparently, that number goes up post June 1st with Allen.
But at the same time, it depends on the cap hit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's probably going to get like maybe $2 or $3 million. So, and you can just give him that in a signing bonus and not even get more than like an $800,000 cap hit. I don't know what you mean by how I QB or CB. How much trouble are the Vikings in? Did somebody get arrested again? What trouble? We're in no trouble. Like that's.
I don't think we're in that big of a cap hit issue.
Are the Packers in trouble because you don't have a first-round pick and Parsons is coming off an ACL? Like, we have the same record. Like, that's the thing is, like, we could sit here and be called homers because we hype up the Vikings, but the fact is we won 9 games last year. We finished the season on a 5-game win streak. Even if the Packers were playing their B and C squad that final game, we still had a 5-game win streak going into that game. We had a top 5 defense, and we did it with the worst quarterback play across the board over the last 20 years. If Kyler Murray, as we sit here and hype on this every week, if he's even a top 20 quarterback next year, the Vikings are a 10-win team. I should have answered it after I showed this. It depends on what you mean by save. Is he going to turn us into a Super Bowl contending team? Probably not. Do I think he could do better than what Brosmer and J.J. McCarthy did last year? Absolutely. And it's foolish to think otherwise. Like, people want to use last year in Arizona. Arizona sucks. Brissett did worse, at least record-wise. We lost Naylor.
1 second. Everyone wants to talk about the last seasons, right?
Yeah.
Answer me a question. You guys want to talk to me about last seasons? Bradford. What was Bradford with the Jets?
The Eagles?
What was he rated?
Bradford?
Not Bradford.
Darnold?
Fucking face that we just
Darnold. Sam Darnold was trash for 7 years until he came here.
Yep, exactly. Darnold. And then
Correct.
Daniel Jones
was trash until he came here. Like, literally, Kyler Murray in 2024 had a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. He had like 24 touchdowns to like 11 interceptions or some shit. It had a really like a 97, 98 QBR. So like no one's saying he's an all-pro. No one's saying he's going to be a top 10 quarterback, but he's absolutely going to be a better quarterback than what we had last year.
And then before that, right? What was that quarterback's name? I forget it. He came here and only had how many days?
Carson Wentz was only here for like 2 weeks. Josh Dobbs is only here for like 5 days.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs. Remind me about that.
I mean, he was Dobbs. We as fans, because it was decided because we had statue Kirk Cousins. The second we could see a quarterback run, I think we way overvalued how good Josh Dobbs played. That was a lot of hero ball that could have gone just as easily south. And if you look at the 2 games that he was good, it was really 2 quarters. Like he played really, really poorly for half of those games, but just turned it on when it mattered, and we won those games. And then the 2 games he started after that, he was absolutely trash, and he found himself off the team again. So I don't really like. He did look good for those 2 games, but it wasn't as like glamorous as we really made it seem out to be. Like there was no Pastronaut. There was no. Is he going to be extended after the season? Hold on, Go Patco. I got to answer one question at a time. We're going back to a lot of players. We lost a few. We lost our wide receiver 3. We lost 32-year-old injury-prone Hargrave and Allen. You guys lost 8 players, I believe, and you just traded Dontavian Wicks for like nothing. What was it? Like this year's 4th and next year's 5th or something like that. So I would have, and you lost Gary. So I mean, if we're going to be talking about players lost versus players gained, you're obviously also not looking super hot. As far as Parsons' injury and if he's going to be good after coming back from the injury, yeah, probably, maybe. It's some players do, some players don't. It's obvious. I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I don't think he's going to be ready week 1. He tore it like towards the end of the season. It was like after week 10, I think he tore it, or maybe it was earlier than that. But it's usually a 12-month recovery. Here's what Packers fans do after they lose players that they hype up for years and years and years, is they all of a sudden say that they were trash and that it's not going to hurt them moving on from them.
1 second.
Dobbs was...
Now, they also said that Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT.
Yes.
Name one receiver outside of them getting injured the season before they left or after they left, being too old, or playing for a contract that Aaron Rodgers created.
At the end of his season, or at the end of his career in Green Bay? I mean, they had Christian Watson.
I'm talking all together.
The Packers had a lot of good receivers. They had Greg Jennings. They had Jordy Nelson.
But they never had anything that he created.
He created all of them. None of them had any remote success outside of... Who went outside of that system and had a successful career outside?
So let me ask you a question. James Jones.
Yeah.
What year did he become pop? What year did he have his statistical statistical stats?
Yes. I couldn't tell you.
The year before he got signed with Las Vegas, right?
Okay.
Jennings. He got hurt the last season he was with Green Bay, and then he came to us, and he had Brett Favre.
He didn't have Brett Favre.
When he came here, the first season he was here, he had Brett Favre.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, we didn't. We got Greg Jennings in like 2013, dude.
And Brett Favre in 2013.
Brett Favre was 2010. We had fucking like Matt Castle and Christian Ponder.
Dude, you gotta research your shit.
I don't have a computer on me, but I guarantee you that Grant Jennings was here after Brett Favre retired. I will put money on it.
Anyway, and then who's the other one that he had? The retired Jordy.
Yeah. The only receiver Green Bay had that Rodgers played with that had success outside of Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers is Devontae Adams, and he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Otherwise, there's not a
agree with you
receiver.
there. But he had Butterfingers
When he first started.
when he first started.
Yeah, it was drop Fonte Adams.
And then when he played with Brett Favre in freaking with the Jets, he had Butterfingers.
Yeah. I mean, Randall Cobb.
Yeah. Like, seriously, like
I'm so far removed from what we're even trying
Aaron
to
Rodgers.
argue.
I'm sorry. We're not talking Brett Favre with Devontae Adams here.
Yeah, like Pat Go said, Favre was here 2009 and 2010. That was long before Greg Jennings. But so go Pat Go. Since you're active and in here talking, I've been trying to reach out to some Packers fans asking what you guys want to do with your first. Oh wait, shit, that's right. You guys don't have a first round pick this year. My bad.
Because they traded it for Parson.
Now, I will, like, all shit talking aside, that trade obviously worked. Green Bay's defense was fucking insane the first 6 weeks of the season because of Micah Parsons. Like, it was obviously a smart trade. Parsons is an absolute stud. You have to hope that he, A, starts sooner than later next season and that he's not diminished from his ACL. Yeah, I nailed it. I said 2013, and he looked it up, and it was exactly
Definitely.
2013.
That trade actually was a smart trade for the Packers.
It was. Like, again, we could sit here and be like, ha, 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 but if the Vikings gave up 2 first-round picks to get Micah Parsons on this defense last year, we'd be saying Super Bowl just like Green Bay was. So he's saying that he wants the Packers to go defensive tackle and corner. Yeah, corner for sure. Are you legit comfortable with Christian Watson and Matthew Golden and them being your pride? I'm a big fan of Reed. I really like Reed. He's injury prone, but I do like him when he's healthy. But Christian Watson's also injury prone. These are all players that, like, when they're healthy, they're good. But do you think that those 3 receivers can really carry your offense? Especially, God, why am I Tucker Kraft? He's also coming off a major knee injury. Like, you guys got a lot of serious injury players that are supposed to carry your team next year. Watson fixed his hammy issues. Golden catches everything. He had 1 good game last year. He was absolutely nowhere to be found until the playoffs. Luther Burden for the Bears had a better season last year than Matthew Golden did. But you can't write a player off after 1 season.
Honestly, our rookie had a better year than him.
Ty Felton?
I'm just being a homer.
I was going to say, did Ty Felton even have an offensive snap at receiver last year? I honestly can't remember.
I don't think he did.
I think it was straight up special teams. Which, I mean, that was shitty.
I think he was hurt the whole entire season, dude.
He wasn't. He was playing on special teams. We got a special guest.
One second.
Got to our hotel in New York City here, so took me forever to try to get logged in. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's been pretty cool so far. Just getting ready. Kids got some rehearsals coming up, and then we're going to Hard Rock Cafe tonight, I think.
Hell yeah.
We're right on Times Square, so this is the Westin Hotel we're sitting in right now. So it's pretty cool.
Nice. I highly, highly recommend the zoo inside Central Park. You get super close to the animals. It's dope.
Right. Yeah, we'll have to do that. So I was hoping to hit the draft in Pittsburgh on the way home. It doesn't look like we're going to do that, but I might hit the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton on the way home. So
there's an NFL experience right in Times Square that's really fun as well.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's super cool. There's a big theater that has like a long hype video that gets you super pumped, and they have a hall full of like cases of all the Super Bowl rings throughout history, and you can like go and like look up your own specific team, and there's a bunch of facts about your favorite team, and it's a really cool thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So what you guys been talking? I'm sure you guys been discussing draft, right?
Yeah, I just we were sick of all the Thieneman talk, so I brought up some players that we could get if we traded back a little bit, or even if we wanted to stick at 18, just some players that weren't Thieneman, because my God, I'm so sick of that name. And then I had brought up about how it was interesting that I was looking at the list of the top 30 visits, and we have quite a few visits with high-end wide receivers that are projected to go day 2.
Yeah.
And was just a little surprised at how much
would be a nice one.
Yeah, Ted Hurst is the one that I keep seeing, and then there's a couple tight ends they've looked at that are projected to go second and third round, and I was just a little surprised with how much attention we're paying on the offensive skill position side of the draft in these early rounds. Considering we have so many holes on defense.
The Oregon tight end, if he's there at freaking 18.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm taking him.
That's a sleeper pick that I keep seeing at 18 is because, again, Hawkinson's in the last year of his contract with the way they restructured it. He is a free agent after this year. And obviously, Oliver is not a true tight end one. And that's a dude that's basically a wide receiver in a tight end position. So that seems to be the future of the NFL with the way tight ends are coming out is you don't want the Kyle Rudolphs anymore. You want the receiver or these tight ends that are more built like receivers. So,
yeah,
but,
it scares me of a reminder of Irv Smith Jr.
If he was actually good.
Boy, after that first year, I had high hopes for Irv Smith, and then it all fell apart.
Right. Honestly. I mean, at least he went to Cincinnati and still did absolutely nothing. It's not like we just wasted him. He's just not good. Right. But I'd also brought up this dude we visited at his pro day. We talked about him earlier. Markel Bell, he's an offensive tackle. Fucker's 6'9", 346. And God, yeah, he's projected to go 3rd or 4th round. I want a 6'9" offensive tackle, but that's obviously going to hurt Kyler Murray. You can't have a dude twice his height.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit of stuff surrounding Spencer Pano yet, too. I wouldn't rule him out.
Stuff like what?
Snagging him up.
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant like he was projected to fall because he's projected to go top 10.
Yeah, but if he drops, that would be something amazing.
If we could have a gas mask bong video leak of him over the next 3 days, that would be great. Right. Go full Laramie Tunsil on it. And then we also talked about the Will Anderson contract and how absolutely ridiculous it is to pay an edge rusher $50 million a year, $134 million guaranteed over 3 seasons, and how that really ultimately fucks us with the Grenard extension talks because now he's for sure going to say, well, if he's getting $50 million a year, I want $30 million a year because he's not twice as good as me. So we really kind of put ourselves in a precarious situation with not doing something with him
my question
earlier.
Is this, Rob.
Yeah.
Do you think we can trade Grenard for a top 10 pick?
Not Grenard straight up, mind you, packaging him and not having to give up our 18, but using him as a first round token. So he's saying, like, if we could use Grenard, our 49th, and our 97th to move into the top 10, do you think that could get it done while keeping our 18?
Yeah, I still wouldn't mind us if we're going to be doing trading of Grenard, making some kind of a package deal with future picks, blah, 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 this or that, and see if we can get Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
Top end edge rusher for a top end interior defensive lineman, plus whatever kind of pick compensations they want to swap back and forth. That would answer one huge question before we go into the draft. And then we can do stuff like, take wide receivers, tight ends, that kind of shit,
That was kind of my thought, but on running back, like we were talking about giving up a bunch of draft capital to move up to get Jeremiah Love.
With Rob on that.
But then what are we paying Dexter Lawrence? Like, what is he looking to get contract-wise?
Yeah, I have no idea on that.
Just paying him what Grenard wants, but for someone that's younger and better?
I guess, more or less. I might need to jump off of here again.
I would rather do that.
You're good, man. It was good seeing you. Have a good trip.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not against getting a Dexter Lawrence type, but again, like if we're giving up a bunch of picks, especially future picks, but then you still also have to pay him. Like, do you work?
Like, hey, I want to have something I don't have, and I want to pay that something I don't have over. Hey, I have a bunch of this. Because you think about it, how many edge rushers do we have?
Technically, right now, 3. Again, though, after the next year or two, 1. Because Van Ginkel's in the last year of his contract, and Gennard's only got 2 years left. Whereas at least at defensive tackle, we have Levi Drake Rodriguez, we have Jalen Redmond, who we just extended. I think, although granted that was only a 1-year deal, but if he plays as well again a second year, he's going to get extended. We got Taki Taimani. Like we have defensive tackles that are on rookie contracts that we can keep for cheap. Whereas edge rusher like Dallas Turner, yeah, he's already going into year 3. So we have to look at after this year extending him and giving him his 5th-year option. So we need edge rusher. And if we're giving up a bunch of high-end picks for Dexter Lawrence, yeah, you're getting an elite defensive tackle, but you're really hamstringing the outsides of that defensive line over the next couple of years. Now, that being said, the bright side is we are strapped for cap this year, unless, again, we make some moves with Grenard or O'Neal, but we have a shit ton of cap over the next 2 years. I think next year we're looking at like $55 million in cap, even after Jefferson's massive cap hit. And in 2028, we're looking at like 130 million in cap. So we have a lot of future cap that we can spread these contracts out. But I mean, again, if we were going to extend Grenard, we should have done it by now because now his value, at least contractually, has only gone up, which means his trade value, sadly, has only gone down. Go back, go answer this question from earlier. Tyfeld had a total of 25 receiving yards. I feel like if you put me in pads and had me play 18 games, 17 games, I could rack up 25 receiving yards. Obviously, I could have. I can't even run.
Anybody could yak up what Felton had.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, he was a 3rd-round pick. He wasn't supposed to be like an instant impact receiver. He was going to be the heir apparent to Naylor if he left, which he did. It looks like he's training. He's adding to his route tree, which is his main issue. Like, he's got sticky hands. He's a good size. He just has a route tree of a stick. So hopefully he's learning. He's got 2 great route runners with Addison and Jefferson to teach him also, which helps. But I don't think he can be relied on to be our wide receiver 3 going into the season. And I think D-Hop, as old as he is, could probably get more than 25 yards. especially with someone like you said that he's got chemistry with. Um, Another receiver that we looked at that's a second round prospect is Dejon Stribling. I don't know how to pronounce it. So again, that's three receivers that we're looking at that are day two picks, early day two picks. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Vikings and like if Lemon was there at 18, would you take Lemon and just say fuck it, YOLO?
Lemon, yeah, hell yeah.
So I mean, that's the blessing and the curse of having a team that's got as many holes as we do. Is you can really take any position outside of, I would say,
I'm not caring about others. I don't care about what school they come from.
I kind of do. I'm a little sour on Alabama defensemen after the last couple drafts, but that's just me. But no, yeah, I usually
let
don't
me
care about
put it this way. If LT Overton is there in the fourth round or third round, late third round, I'm taking LT Overton.
Yeah. Yeah, my third round offensive lineman that I keep talking about and that makes Rob happy is Logan Jones out of Iowa. I would like to have him at center.
Yeah, he's a good center.
So, I mean, there's really no position that we
good center.
Yeah,
but he'll be past. He would not be there. He actually would be there.
he should be there in the third round, at least with our first
round. Yeah, of course. But
so
past in our first pick after that, it's a gamble.
Well, our first pick after the third round is a fifth rounder. We don't have a fourth rounder this year, so
yeah, no. In the fifth round, I don't know if he's going to be there.
No, he's not going to make it to the fifth. I would be extremely shocked if he fell to the fifth, and I'm not trying to take that chance. Like Rob obviously every week jokes about taking Jennings Dunker in the second round. Not that would be a bad value. I mean, that is his value as a second rounder. And we do need a guard. So again, yeah, that just keeps we keep going back to the same point. Is we were
and you hear me talk about what I want in my picks, right?
Yeah.
I want Thielemann in the first round. Second round, give me that center. Or defensive tackle. Third round, give me that freaking center or defensive tackle.
So just whatever you don't take in the second round, you want immediately with your next pick, basically.
I want if okay. So the first round, you understand. I want the best player available, but that's Thielemann.
If he's there at 18, yeah.
Second round, like here's the thing. I look at what was there.
Well, that's my issue. Like I brought up earlier, if apparently Rob Brzezinski isn't taking a corner in the first three rounds, that's a position that most of that value at that position is in the first two rounds. You're not getting a starting corner.
That's the problem I have. Like I say, BPA. I guarantee you, the cornerback is not going to be the BPA.
I mean, it depends. If Jermon McCloy falls to 18, he's absolutely going to be the BPA at 18.
Who?
Jermon McCoy out of Tennessee. Like I see him getting projected to go top 15. So if he falls to 18 and he's still there for whatever reason, like he's corner number 2 in the draft, and so I would absolutely like run to the podium
No,
for
I'm
him.
sorry, I'm not taking him.
You're not taking him?
I'm not taking him.
Do you have a reason why?
Gladney.
What does Jermon McCoy and Jeff Gladney have anything to do with each other outside of being high value picks?
Okay, so Gladney had an injury problem.
Okay.
McCoy has an injury problem.
McCoy is not injured. You're thinking of Avian Tyrell.
Well, I'm sorry, he's injury.
Again, you're thinking of Avian Tyrell, not Jermon McCoy. Tyrell is the one who just got.
He's injured.
Well, you're saying things, but you're saying things that aren't accurate. You're conflating Jermon McCoy with Avian Tyrell. Jermon McCoy was not injured, nor is he injured.
He's not
Avian
injured
Tyrell
right now.
No, you're thinking of
He
Avian
never had an
Tyrell.
issue with his injuries.
You're thinking of Avian Tyrell.
Never had an issue. He never had an issue. with his injuries.
So that's your line is you don't want to draft any player at 18 that's ever had an injury. So we can cross out every player that's ever played. Because you're playing football from middle school through professional, you're gonna get an injury or two. Like, I mean, or we could do the thing with JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy played 3 years in college, never once was injured, and then he gets to the NFL and now he can't play more than 4 games. You never know. Like, that's just a weird no. We need secondary help more than any other position on the field, whether it be safety, whether it be corner. And again, Jermon McCoy is almost always in the top half of the first round. If he's there at 18 and he's the second best corner of the draft, I'm absolutely taking
so
him.
how many seasons did he do successfully?
More than any corner you're going to draft in the 3rd round or later.
1 season, dude.
Okay. Do you think we're going to find a corner in round 5 that is going to be as good as Jermon McCoy?
Yeah.
Who? Yes, who? Who in the 5th round at corner is going to be as good as a 1st round pick?
Who's going to be a success? Okay, McCoy.
He's a 1st rounder. You said you could find someone in the 5th round that is going to be as good as Jermon,
right? Like
what?
you yourself judge him as a 1st round pick.
No, the vast majority of people that get paid to do this for a living value him as a top half of the 1st round pick. Again, I don't watch college football. I've never seen Jermon McCoy play a snap.
Like I get people who judge him as a 3rd.
Jermon McCoy.
Yeah.
Who? Friends? Or actual people who get paid to do this for a living?
Like you say, like 1 second.
You thought Greg Jennings played with Brett Favre in Minnesota? Show me a national pundit or anybody that actually knows what they're talking about that has Jermon McCoy being a 3rd round prospect.
There's injuries problems?
No. Again, you're thinking of Avian Tyrell.
I'm not talking to Avian Tyrell.
Then why are you talking about McCoy or McCoy?
He has history with injury problems.
What history?
Same thing with Terrell.
Well, I guess that's going to be a problem with a team that picks in the top 15 because that's where McCoy is going to go.
Doing your research.
Don't fucking talk to me about research when you thought Greg Jennings was on the Vikings in 2010, buddy. I've already proven you wrong today, and that's fine. I will look up McCoy's injury history after this podcast, and I will send it to you. But again, I've said a million times, I don't watch college ball. I haven't seen a single snap of any of the players that we are going to draft in the first round. I'm going off of national pundits and the 30,000 fucking mock drafts I've seen across TikTok, across Facebook, whatever, NFL, CBS, PFF, Yahoo
Dude.
Sports. I've not seen a
Matthew.
single pundit have McCoy out of the
Listen,
first round.
It's the same thing with the Downs falling on his drafts.
And he will probably fall from a top 10 pick to pick 12 or 13, but he's not falling to the end of the first round. Because again, GMs and scouts, unlike you, see, hey, if this guy is healthy, he's going to be a really good player for the next 10 years. But you see an injury from 2 years ago, well, this guy's, there's no chance he's ever going to be good, so skip him. And then meanwhile, another team, and then another team that's not us drafts him, and then he ends up being a fucking perennial all-pro. We're sitting here going like, oh, man, I guess that injury he had in 2023 really didn't matter after all.
That's all I'm saying.
That's not what you're saying. I'm arguing against what you're saying.
No, you're not.
You were saying you don't want to draft a player at 18 that has a history of injuries. I'm saying, A, there is no history of injuries.
There is a history with McCoy.
Okay, I don't believe you. I will look it up after the podcast and I will send it to you. As far as Downs' history, it's not a history. It's an injury he just suffered at his pro day or at the combine or some shit. A partial meniscus. Who when McCarthy had a partial meniscus, they said a partial has a recovery timetable of around a month or two. A full-blown replacement has a recovery of 4 to 6 months. It is April.
At the same time, dude, the McCoy issue is there. And you don't do your research on your players when it comes to this.
It's going to be really awkward when I send you his quote injury history that doesn't exist.
Go ahead.
And then we could talk about research. You should research players that have actually played for our team because you don't even seem to know that much. But it's fine. It doesn't matter what we want the Vikings to do. It matters what Rob Brzezinski is going to do, and we'll find out in 5 days. So I don't know if there's going to be a live show that night for any of the shows on this network, but we will absolutely, obviously, hammer the first 3 rounds of the draft when we see you guys next week. Have a great week. Enjoy the draft. Skol.
Yeah, yo, it's game time. Ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports. Just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken. Stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.